This is the Cobalt Migration. Now reading from Chapter 7. The Cobalt Migration from Tom Leong with author Julian Phillips is the multi-generational story of alien abduction and initiation into a secret program preparing and training carefully chosen individuals for residency on planet Mars and the moons of Jupiter, as Earth's very first off-world settlers. All rights reserved. July 19, 2018. Please share this weekly Facebook narrative. Now you can follow the Tom Leong Tomorrow series with print paperback novels, available on Amazon.com. Download or order your copy of Mars Outpost, Surviving Tharsis Months, and the Jupiter Plan, Anakiata Multia, each 150,000 words, 60 chapters, new for 2015 and today. The Cobalt Migration is also seeking your business sponsorship. Please contact Mr. Phillips on these Facebook pages. Sidbixi Mim Mim. Chapter 7. All of humanity from the beginning of the species, and wherever the human being is found or remembered, is a conspiracy, Charles Lincoln Corso told a University of New Mexico classmate, one day during his freshman year, about 1970. By then a full-grown young man in the long moment of his strength and male beauty, Mellu's love child with the colonel had by then walked his toddler miles and teen miles, and young adult miles, there in New Mexico beneath the high, lonely clouds. Charles' walk of life had taken him where his parents wanted him to go, to elementary school, high school, college, and other places. And where his feet would not take him, his heart and his mind also voyaged, sometimes it seemed even on its own, or without him, or without his permission, somehow, machine-like, robotic, not natural. As a young man might otherwise freely employ his senses and consciousness, it was to those places he went. And later, as he entered manhood, much, much further than that. Mellu Tenaka's Japanese genetics, including the high cheekbones, almond eyes, pale blonde or olive flesh, dark and straight hair, and the common beauty of the Asian woman, slight of frame, deer-like, had become this striking young man, 23 years later. His father, the Air Force colonel she married, had also emerged as his own deoxyribonucleic acid mini-me, in the life of Charlie, his son. And it was the colonel who told him that, when he was even younger. The human race is a negotiated compromise with the whole universe, and we're all in it together, he told his son, before college or university were even considered, for he was much too young. Yes sir, father, Charlie answered. I mean, Dad.
Growing up in New Mexico was like growing up as an expatriate in another country. There was a sense of isolation, disconnected from the remainder of America and the United States. A great place to hide things, or keep secrets. The rocks, sand and hills. They had no age. They did not change or grow. The trees, cactus, farm crops, insects, weeds, germs and disease, seed-bearing and otherwise. The green grasses, the oat, it all only grew wild, and changed by season. The clouds and sunshine, the invisible wind, the seasonal heat and cold, withering and cracking the sandstone hills and cliffs, weather-beaten valleys, lifeless, lonely, loveless, in transition together, fast or slow, short or long, big or little, Mother Nature. The dogs, the cats, horses, cattle and cows, goats, pigs, ponies and donkeys, chicken, peacocks, possum, rats and squirrels, coyote, bear, mountain lions, wild cats, buzzing bees and flying insects, bats, hawks, eagles, vultures, condor, 1,000 variety of local birds, 1,000 variety of local snakes and lizards, and other creatures, also lived there in New Mexico, born of their kind each to another, and human beings as well. Rocks and stones, 1,000,000 years. Wind and rain, 100 years or 100 days. Trees and grass, 365 days and up. Living creatures and animals, 10 years, 20 years, or 20 days. Each type came and went in its schedule, as all things changed and changed again. For young Charles growing up there, the human family seemed to be tossed in with the animals, and that was about it for learning anything useful about any conspiracies. His father's comment, "All humanity is a conspiracy," stayed with him over the years of his basic elementary school learning, his growth as a teen in high school, and into adulthood. It seemed like a bait thing, but then he realized his dad, the senior Corso, was trying to say something about common mankind's loyalty to each other, and that to be fully human is to be fully conspired with all other that is human, for good or ill. So why do I even care? Charles would eventually ask himself. Why am I here? What is life all about? Is there some greater power that has organized the universe for my service, participation, benefit, or exploitation? Who can I turn to for those answers? Is love real power, or only an illusion? Am I only wasting my time asking these questions? And when do we eat? Years passed, passing them by, like water in a greasy green river, corroded by rocks and sandy banks, reeds and willows. Years, as the world turns, only then to buck them off like their wet dog poochie shaking off fleas. An earthquake, a storm, a war, a plague, a crime, an acute product shortage, an overdue electric bill, a home or house in default, needing repairs. Their baby grew and grew. Charles Lincoln Corso greeted the world not with fear, but with what anyone might call deep concern, like one who could only witness an enormous travesty, a gigantic error, a tremendous mistake involving many millions and millions of souls like himself. At age 6 years he learned to read, and could handle language communication fairly well. By about age 13 years, he could understand basic math. By about age 19 years, Charles had a general understanding of conduct and behavior, laws, general geology of the earth and its features, some basic science concepts, basic anatomy and biology, how the world works. By age 20 years he had successfully navigated 3 heterosexual romantic and sexually active relationships with his contemporaries in school. Charles considered himself an Asian American. His father was white or Caucasian, Sicilian or European. Charles at age 23 years stood 5 foot, 10 inches tall, and weighed in at a husky 180 pounds. Unlike his mother he had sandy brown hair, but Mellu's eyes and face were apparent. His eyes were sharp, but his smile was easy. He was strong. He was human. He was okay. And it was all going to be alright, because he himself had chosen it to be okay, alright, favorable, friendly, simple, worth it, enjoyable. And as far as he was concerned, if some ancient hatred or extraterrestrial alien from another planet had given him the gift of life, big deal like he should care. I'm alive, and that's good. Who cares where it came from? And when do we eat?
Said Bixie Mim, Chuck. I worked with your father in the Pacific Asia War with Japan. My name is Daniel.
And Sibixi Mim to you as well, sir. To what do I owe this rare meeting? The war was over before I was even born into this ugly world.
Whatever world it is then, young man, make it a better one than when you arrived. I am old now, but I knew your mother, Mellu. Just after the bombs dropped on the land of her birth. Your father took her to an island bunker where she would be safe. It was terrifying. To my knowledge, she was already with child, even then. So we have met before, you might say.
I am pleased to know you then, Mr. Daniel. If you worked with my father the colonel at the end, you have all my respect. But can you tell me, before I go, what means it, the words, Sipiximimim? I have heard that somewhere before, among my father's associates. Is it a secret code word? Sipiximimim? What is that, anyway?
It is love. It means, I love you so much I will remember your name 400 years from now.
I'm sorry, Sir Daniel. I cannot wait that long. Good day to you.